What the hell happened to women in this country? Some of you will look at these dead kids, Cora, Dawson, Callan, and still spend more energy protecting the woman who killed them rather than naming what she did. You'll justify it, soften it, spin it. Then you'll sit there stunned that fewer and fewer men want anything to do with that kind of dumbass thinking. Well, you fucked around, and now you're finding out, because today we go after the Lindsay Clancy Cultist. No filter, no safe space. Let's get into this shit show.
Four on the floor, have a tank of gas. Does he boots on the wood, let the whiskey pass. I ain't preaching from a pulpit, I'm talking from...
All right. Some of y'all are going to be pissed before this thing is 10 minutes old. Cool. Get mad. Just don't pretend you didn't hear what this episode is actually about. I mean, we're not coming after women because of postpartum depression. We're certainly not mocking postpartum psychosis. And we're not saying that Lindsay Clancy wasn't mentally ill, because of course she is. We're not telling women they're weak for asking for help after they give birth. And we're certainly not saying that every person who feels sorry for Lindsay Clancy is a lunatic. That's not the target. The target of this episode, because you've seen the clips on TikTok, on YouTube, and we're going to show you a few of them today. The target is the crowd that glued themselves to Lindsay so hard that no fact on earth can punch through the story they built. The conspiracy people, the fucking nut jobs out there, the ones pointing at Patrick Clancy with zero evidence, none. The ones diagnosing an entire family off a photo and a courtroom clip. The ones who took a woman who admitted killing Cora, Dawson, and Callan and turned her into the main victim of the Lindsay Clancy case. What the fuck? That's the conversation. And that's the conversation we're having today. Because some of you morons out there actually believe this woman is innocent and that she's a victim. No, she's not a victim. Plenty of people get depressed. Plenty of people get upset. Plenty of people have postpartum. Right? They feel bad. Things happen. Lots of people have mental health crisis. You know what they don't all go do? Murder their kids. That's the one thing they don't do. You see, there's something ugly that happens when you start saying things like, I see myself in her. All right, when that replaces what actually happened, there's an issue here. Because here's what's going to happen. There's a lot of females out there who look at Lindsay and go, and they try to sympathize with her. They try to look at her from their perspective. Well, I'm a mother. I had postpartum depression. I've been overwhelmed. I've been on psych meds. I felt like nobody got it. And that's fine. Relating to somebody's pain isn't a crime. That's not the point. The problem is the next thing they say. They've said all that. Then they say, therefore, I know what happened. No, you don't. Your postpartum story is not Lindsay Clancy's psychic reveal, right? Your motherhood is not forensic evaluation. It's not forensic evidence. Your bad reaction to medication does not prove what her medication did. Your gut feeling that you want to talk about Patrick, it's not proof Patrick committed a crime. And your empathy for Lindsay does not make those 3 kids any less dead. And that's the line. That's this whole episode right there in a nutshell. Because it comes down to this. When I relate, starts pretending to be evidence, we've got a problem. Because you've got some of these psycho women online are saying a reasonable thing. All right? And here's the thing, because it starts out as empathy. I know how terrifying postpartum mental illness can get. And look, that's a real contribution. You could say that. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. But what they're not entitled to say is, I had PPD, so I know Lindsay wasn't herself. You don't know her. Because they also say this, a mother could never She could never do this unless something made her do it. Those are not the same sentence. One is empathy. The other is using your life to close the case on hers. And that's not how evidence works. Because here's the part that people skip. Millions of women go through postpartum depression. Some get slammed with severe psychiatric illness. That happens. The overwhelming majority do not murder their children. Those women, they count too. You don't get to take a giant population of struggling mothers and collapse all of them into Lindsay Clancy just because they all had babies. That's not advocacy. That's sloppy thinking dressed up as compassion. And once somebody is emotionally locked in, every new fact gets filtered through the verdict they already picked. If facts help Lindsay, proof. Facts hurt Lindsay, oh, that's suspicious. Expert backs the defense, finally somebody gets it. But what the expert doesn't, not biased. Patrick sounds sympathetic. Well, he's performing. Patrick sounds angry. He's abusive. Patrick tries to live. Well, that's suspicious. Patrick can't move on. Well, also suspicious. That's not investigation. That's a belief system that cannot lose. If nothing can change your mind, you're not looking at evidence. You're protecting an identity. And that's really the issue here in this country right now. It's insane. These Lindsay cultists are fucking nuts. I mean, look at these nut jobs out here. You saw the reporter smiling on camera with that evil psycho look in her eye. For all you guys out there, be careful. If you think about dating her, you might want to sleep with one eye open. She got fired, had her press credentials pulled. Because even her own magazine knows, oh, that's a step too damn far. So here's the thing with Lindsay. And here's the thing that these women are doing right now. If Lindsay can't be responsible in their view, well, then you have to invent a villain. You have to invent a villain. And that's what you're doing. And that's where it all gets nasty right there. Because if you've already decided Lindsay cannot be responsible, you've got a problem. 3 kids are dead. Somebody has to carry that. So what happens? The internet does what it does. They go shopping for a second villain. Now enter Patrick, the grieving father. The father who 3 years ago had to bury his murdered children. And now you've got people who have never met this man are dissecting his marriage as if they were part of it. His face, his tone, his timeline, his life after the murders. Some of them even went further and started spinning theories that he was involved with no publicly established evidence that he participated in killing those children. None. And if that turns out to be false, you have to sit with what you did to him. But would they care? No, they don't. These people do not accept responsibility for all the bullshit they put out there. They don't. They'll just shrug and move on to the next dumbass thing they have in their mind. Because that's what these type of people do. His 3 kids are dead. These 3 innocent children who had no idea what was about to happen to them were murdered in cold blood. And his wife admitted to killing them. So before you keep trying to pin this on him, she admitted it. Admitted it. But what happens with these brilliant Sherlock Holmesian TikTok detectives? What's the thing they say? Nah, something about the husband feels off. Something strange is afoot with that husband. Where's the real truth lie? Now I'm going to sit here eating my ho-hos and my Twinkies, snacking on all the fatty-ass foods I can find, being a slob, out here doing nothing, trying to tell my girlfriends, my sisters in arms, that I know what really happened. Now imagine burying all 3 of your children and then watching thousands of people decide your grief doesn't look right. And we've seen this true crime movie before. Hell, we've seen this play out in real time before. People become characters, right? Grief becomes evidence. Body language becomes forensics. Think about what they did to Charlie Kirk's wife. People didn't like the way she grieved. They thought she was phony because of how she is built as a human being, and the way she emotes is suddenly suspicious. Think about what that was. Those nut jobs out there with that. And there are plenty of you out there. You can make all the damn excuses you want to, but you know you're one of them. A facial expression becomes a confession. And everybody with a phone suddenly thinks they're Columbo, out here just solving crimes, what the professionals just must not be able to understand. There's a difference between questioning the record and manufacturing a record, because the real one won't give you the ending that you want. That's when the skepticism turns into conspiracy. And here's the problem. The problem is when the person who committed the crime becomes a victim, which is running rampant in this damn country right now. It has for a while. Like, these people who commit crimes, we start making them the victim. Like, no one made you go do this thing that you do. You chose that. You chose to go commit the crime. And now somehow it's everybody else's fault that you did the fucking thing. Everybody else's fault that you did all of this. And this is the center of it. Lindsay can be a victim of catastrophic mental illness. She can. She can have been failed by pieces of the healthcare system. That's all true. And she can deserve humane treatment. All of that can be true. She survived January 24th, 2023, cutting her wrist, trying to slice her throat, throwing herself out of a second-story window in an attempt to kill herself. She survived that. But you know who didn't? Cora didn't. Dawson didn't. Callan didn't. That's why some of this rhetoric is so freaking rotten. You see, the more people fuse themselves to Lindsay, the more the kids start vanishing. Their deaths become props, proof of how sick she was, supporting evidence in her tragedy, not theirs. They had lives. They had personalities. They had a father. They had futures. And whatever psychiatric explanation the court lands on, she killed them. No one else did. Lindsay did it. Now, mental illness may decide legal responsibility, but it does not rewrite the physical fact of what happened. And that distinction should not be controversial, period. But online, apparently, it is, with all these geniuses out there. You see these stupid TikTok videos, all these shorts, all these people leaning in. I know what really happened to her. And I swear it was that Patrick feller. That Patrick feller's the one what done it. He probably pushed it to her, probably really drugged her, convinced her. He convinced her that she's the one what done it. And then probably threw her out, ran down the road, then ran back. Caught. Stop. We've gotten this weird idea that if you understand why somebody did something, you're not allowed to condemn what they did. That's nonsense. Adults can hold more than one thought at a time. You can believe postpartum psychosis is real. You can believe Lindsay Clancy was mentally ill. You can believe the mental health system fails people. And you can believe mothers in psychiatric crisis need better support. All of those things hold water. But you can also believe that Cora, Dawson, and Callan were the victims. None of those statements cancel each other out. So here's the question for the extreme Lindsay crowd out there. What evidence would change your mind? I mean, name it. What evidence would change your mind? Because if the answer is nothing, you're not evaluating a case. You're defending a story about yourself. And isn't that the social media pipeline, right? Because now you relate to her. You think you understand Lindsay. Right? You believe in her. And anybody who challenges me is wrong. You're just wrong. Because I've been depressed, so I know. That's how objectivity dies. Not always from a lack of information. Sometimes it dies because people cannot accept a fact that threatens the identity they built around a stranger. And make no mistake, she is a stranger to these people. Yet if you listen to them talk, that was their best friend. They were Lindsay. They have shirts, I am Lindsay. What the fuck? You see, one question for me hangs over like this whole episode today. When did empathy require us to stop asking questions? It didn't. You can have compassion and still demand evidence. You can understand mental illness and still name the victims. You can support mothers and still admit women have agency. And you know what you can also believe? You can also believe that Lindsay Clancy was profoundly sick without turning the woman who killed 3 children into an internet folk hero, because by God, she is not. Cora, Dawson, and Callan deserve better than that. And you don't get to rewrite the dead because the living make you uncomfortable. What are we doing? And women want to know why men don't want to have a damn thing to do with them anymore. You've seen the stigmas, right? You've heard. You've seen some of these TikTok videos, correct? You hear what women are saying. Well, men just don't want to commit anymore. I find it harder and harder for a man to date me. Well, listen to the bullshit you say. Why would a man want to do that? Why would a man want to date a psychopath like you? Why? Why? Because you have a vagina? That's it? Listen to some of the bullshit you say out here. Look, I would rather date my hand than I would date a woman these days out there. Why is that? Well, because my hand's not going to talk back. If I need someone to wash the dishes, my hand can do that. If I need someone to cook, my hand can do that. But you know what my hand is not going to do? Murder my children. It's sad when you can look at that as a better girlfriend than the ones walking around out there on 2 feet. Because of the fucking mindset of women these days. It's pathetic. It's pathetic. Now, some people are going to say, why is he a woman hater? Boy, I'm not. Because as much as we are talking about these psychopaths out there, there's a lot of good women out there. There are tons of great women out there. The problem is that these great women are getting lost in the conversation because these psycho bitches. That's the problem. All these good women who are out there doing the right things, who are just being good human beings, living their lives, supporting their kids, supporting their man, doing all the things they should do. And vice versa for the men out there who support their women. These people exist out there in droves, but you don't hear about them because it's not as sexy to talk about them. It's sexier to talk about these evil wenches out here who think they are entitled to things. You're not entitled to a damn thing. And more men are standing up and saying, no, I don't have to deal with you. I'm not going to deal with you. Why would I put myself through that? And that's crazy. That is nuts. Nuts. Why would you do this? Why is this a thing that you must do? I hated dating. I'm going to tell you right now, I absolutely hated it. I finally got me a good one. But I hated it before then. It was because you can't find a good one. You think you've got one, and all of a sudden you have to sleep with one eye open. Because of silly ass shit. Because of silly ass shit. And that's the tragedy here. Because we've let the internet tell us what right and wrong is. We've let the internet condition us to how we need to feel. And you've got these cultists out there, like these Lindsay cultists, trying to turn more and more women mentally into believing that it's okay to murder your kids as long as we say postpartum depression or just depression in general made me do it. Why the hell should you have a right to vote or do anything if your hormones, as an excuse, using your hormones to say, I had a bad day, my hormones flared up, so I just offed my kids. Now, that don't normally happen to me, so, just chalk that up to a bad day in my hormones. Why would I want you in a position of leadership? Why would I want you in a position to make any major life choices if simply having a hormone flare-up is going to cause you to murder? Why would I want that? Why would any sane person want that? They wouldn't. They wouldn't. Now, I told you we were going to look at some of these videos. Check some of this bullshit out. This is wild.
It made you think that you should physically be here?
Mental health, supporting Lindsay because I feel for her because I deal with it. The mental health system failed her and she couldn't get the help that she needed.
So it kind of touched, some heartstrings because I had been there. I had the anxiety of a new mom, of being like, am I doing things right? And I think if this whole thing was taken serious, a little bit more serious than it was, and she had more support, none of this would have happened.
This is horse shit. Horse shit. You don't know Lindsay's state of mind. You have no idea, lady. You don't know what Lindsay was thinking and going through. Why? Because you were depressed. Not half this fucking world right now is depressed. But not half this world, not half the women in it are killing babies. They're not. You can be depressed. You can have mental health issues. Doesn't mean you're unaliving your kids. So no, you don't understand unless you're telling me you killed your kids.
And I think she's a victim of a failed medical system. Mm-hmm. And I think women's mental health isn't taken seriously enough.
Where do you...
Who actually believes this horse shit? Who? Who actually believes that horse shit she just said right there? Women's mental health is not being taken seriously enough? Really? Really? Women have all the options in the world to get mental health help. You're taken more seriously than anybody. Men have never been relegated to the fucking bottom as they are right now in this world. Because everything is a man's fault. Everything going wrong with you is a man's fault. It's not you and your choices. It's everybody else's. It's the man. And if you speak out against it, what are you? Misogynist, sexist, every kind of ist, every kind of foe, because that's all they got. They don't have an actual argument. It's just somebody else's fault. It's victimhood. It's sheer victimhood. And here's your prime example right here. This lady already knows it all. She's already got it all figured out. We don't have to go any further, folks. Let's just hire her to fix it all because she knows.
You see those failures?
I feel like she was crying out for help, and I feel like she didn't have even just the support at home. And I had said to somebody else, I said, if you're not getting the support at home, what do you have? Right?
How do you know that? How do you know this? She's just saying shit. Lady, maybe you didn't get support at home. So because you didn't get supported at home, somebody else didn't get supported at home? Is that what we're saying?
Right? Because when you're already depressed and you're already feeling alone and you don't have it, I from what I see, it wasn't there.
As a mother, as a female, as someone who, has struggled with mental health themselves, many different facets, I understand. And it's unfortunate that, a tragic incident like this has to happen in order for people to come together and rally and, show support. So I feel for her.
You see, they all understand, but they don't. What they understand is you can get depressed. They can understand how you feel bad and you have a mental health issue. They understand that. You know what? I understand that. I've been through it. I haven't been through it from a childbearing point of view, but I've been severely depressed. I've had mental health issues I had to work through. But you know what I didn't do? I didn't go murder my kids because that you don't understand and I don't understand. So stop telling us you understand when you absolutely do not.
I just feel like people need to educate themselves more. Again, mental health covers a wide variety of things, but when you're in a psychosis state, you are out of body. You don't know what's going on.
Are my ears bleeding yet? I feel like my ears are starting to bleed after listening to all this bullshit. I do. When you're in a psychosis state, you're out of body, you don't know what's going on. And look, according to a medical journal, that may be true. But are you telling me from experience? Are you telling me because you know that's what Lindsay did? Are you telling me because somebody told you that and it sounded really good? Because all of that can be true. All of it can be true. But don't tell me you know what Lindsay herself was going through, because you don't.
And again, you know, people that have never experienced such a thing will never understand that.
Lady, you haven't experienced such a thing. You've never been to the point where you want to kill your kids, obviously, because they're still alive. Because they're still taking in air. Oh, my God. Yeah, you see where the frustration comes from? You see where it comes from? Listen to this bullshit all the time. Like people who just know. Well, they just know. They understand. They've been there. No, you haven't. No, you haven't. Stop playing the victim and acting like you're the one who understands Lindsay. You do not understand Lindsay. Unless you're the one of the ones who unalived your children. You do not in any way understand Lindsay. Period. What you understand is that mental health is real, which guess what? We're all kind of aware of. Depression, real. Guess what? All kind of aware of. And you're not the only one who goes through it. Millions upon millions of people go through it. So don't sit there and pretend like you are the one who understands it. Everybody else doesn't. Nobody else gets it. Yes, we do. What we don't do is go murder our kids. All right, next up. There's this comedian, Tyler Fisher. Dude, he does this Lindsay Clancy joke for a crowd. And this crowd thinks he's innocent, right? At least some of them do. Some of them don't. Some of them do. This is hilarious. Check this out right here, because I thought this was so funny. It's so good. And this guy gives no fucks. He don't give a fuck. And I'm here for it. All day long, I'm here for this right here. Because I think it's brilliant. And I think it's awesome. And we're going to check it out. Let's go.
Did you just hear about this? You didn't hear about this?
I didn't hear about it.
Nobody heard about this?
I know. He did.
Wrong basement? Who's got the depression? Anybody? Depression? Let me hear it. It's okay. Anybody else? A little depressed? Come on, we're in a basement. A little depressed? A little anxiety? We got a social anxiety? A little... Yeah, dark thoughts? All right, but it still doesn't mean you can strangle your kids, okay? What the fuck is going on? These bitches will use any excuse. Holy shit! Dark thoughts? Let me hear if you ever have a dark thought. Okay, that still doesn't mean you can strangle your children, okay? That's a big no-no in my house. Oh.
You hear this crowd like there's a person going, oh my God, he said it. Can't believe he said it. Let's go.
Wrong basement? What is this, like an abortion clinic meetup or something? We all kill babies down here. She raised $2 million, that woman. Strangled 3 kids, $2 million. I did fundraising for a web series. I got $86 over 9 years. Oh my God. You didn't hear about this?
I didn't hear about it.
Nobody heard about this?
I know.
You're not on the internet? A woman strangled her 3 children.
She didn't do it.
She didn't do it?
There it is. There it is. There's the one. She didn't do it. She didn't do it. Had to be somebody else.
Oh! Here we go. Here we go. Bring out Alex Jones. It was the frogs. The frogs did it. The frogs did it. She drank the water frog. It's just, I'm just confused. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm not judging. I'm not a woman. I'm smaller than one, but I'm not a woman. Okay? It's mixed messaging, because, you know, you date a woman, right? They don't want you to help out sometimes. You try to help. They go, I can fucking do it myself. I can think for myself. I have full control. Then they strangle kids. They're like, I don't know what I'm doing. All the women at the protest, like, we almost did that too.
See, that's what I'm saying. That's what I've been saying.
Doing this move, which looks like you're strangling a kid. That's a bad fucking PR. They're holding their kids like, oh, fucking A, holy shit. The kids are looking up like, oh, fuck, we're fucking next. Well, who do you think did it?
Daddy.
You think Daddy did it? Yeah. Why do you? Whoa! Fucking A, man. Women are getting away with anything.
So true. You notice that's her first thought. The dad did it. Even though, remember, Lindsay had already confessed to this. Remember that. And yet you've got these people out here. Couldn't have been her. She was forced into it.
This bitch was in a bad mood. They're like, no, couldn't have been her. Couldn't have been her. It's crazy. I just didn't know how dark you gals could be. I didn't know. And, women are smart. They kill the kids before they come out of the body. $1 million a year. That's pretty high. They got us beat. I just think any woman that's in support of it, killing the kids, I think they should take their own life and just call it a late-term abortion. Let's go, baby. All right, that's the last part of that joke. That's right. I can read the room. I'm not that autistic. Hey, she's a woman. Got that? Hell yeah. All right. Good. All right. Daddy did it. What makes you think the daddy did it?
I feel like there's a lot of things.
You feel like there's a lot of things. She feels like there's a lot of things. What medications are you on, miss? Prozac, Xanax, Xanax. I guess it was the right basement.
So good. That was so good right there. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Let's go. And there you go. There you go. Told you. Crazy. Nuts. Makes no damn sense. But there it is. There it is. You have more and more of these. They're out here every day. And you never know one's living next door or if they're living in the same damn house as you. Look, there's nothing wrong with having mental illness. It is prevalent in this world right now, and you should seek help for that. You should. And I am sympathetic and empathetic to anybody who is going through that. I've gone through it myself. But it is never an excuse to commit murder, to cause somebody else harm because you were having a bad day. It's not an excuse. It's not an excuse to do these things to people. Now, you can make and believe in whatever ideology you want to. But I got to tell you, if you're one of those people who believes that way, I don't want you around me. Like, I don't want those kind of people around me. If you can sympathize with a murderess, I don't need you around me. And it's just, I don't want you around me because that kind of thinking and that kind of human being is a cancer to humanity. It is. But they're the very ones that cry victim. They're the very ones that cry victim. Everybody's ganging up on them. People don't understand them. They're victims. And that's the biggest bunch of BS I've ever heard. And yet here it is. Here it is. And it's funny because you watch these videos like we just saw. And they say this stuff. And they get busted for it. And then they get jumped on, right? People in the comments trashing them. But they just can't understand why. Why would you say this about me? You don't understand. You don't have no empathy. You're an ist or an ism. Look, you can call me a misogynist. You can call me a sexist. You can call me whatever the hell you want to. Because I live off of one motto in my life. I don't give a fuck. You are listening to the Fuck Around and Find Out podcast. Facts, truth, no BS. Let's effing go. I'll see you guys next time.
Four on the floor, have a tank of gas. Does he boots on the wood, let the whiskey pass? I ain't preaching from a pulpit, I'm talking from the scar. You can dress up a lie, but it won't get far. They call it toxic when it burns.